passing by. Perhaps this story won't seem scary to you, but it is real. At least I believe in it. We have one place, specifically the Listyansk Gorge. To get to Lake Karatun in the capital, the city of Borovsk, you need to pass through this gorge. There is no other road. So the husband of my acquaintance died there about 10 years ago. He had an accident in that very gorge. He died in the hospital 3 days later. Before his death, he recounted how he got into the accident. Alik, as the deceased was called, was an experienced detective with 10 years of service in the criminal investigation department. A brave person, non-religious, and never believed in superstitions. One Sunday night, right after his shift, he drove to Karatun. His wife was waiting for him there with their young son. He was driving fairly fast. It was night, the road was empty, and for cops, traffic rules are often overlooked. As he was passing through the Listyansk Gorge, he noticed a car behind him. An old Mercedes without license plates. He didn't notice how the car appeared. Alik decided to slow down so they could overtake him and to see what kind of car it was. It piqued his professional interest. When the car started to overtake, Alik turned to see who was driving. Here, I will quote his words. In the front seat at the wheel sat a man, covered in blood, with half his head cleanly blown off. To the right of the driver, a young woman, all mangled, with half of her lower jaw missing. She was holding a boy of about 4 or 5 years old, who was also severely mutilated. They were looking at me as if I could help them. Their gaze was full of pleading. Voices were sounding in my head, "Save us, save us." "Help," the woman's voice repeated, "save at least the child." When my window aligned with the back seat window of the Mercedes, something was looking at me from there. It was grinning with a bloodthirsty smile and waving its hand. At that moment, I snapped out of my initial shock, grabbed my service and Makarov pistol, and fired half the magazine into the grinning face. The smile instantly disappeared. In the same second, my new Japanese car stopped responding to the steering wheel and started accelerating. The car crashed into a rock at high speed. The investigative authorities, who were investigating this accident, were very surprised by the absence of brake marks. The road there is tense. Falling asleep is simply impossible. And Alik, according to the examination results, was absolutely sober. He told this story to his wife 3 hours before his death. At the end, he added, "And I saved the boy." His colleagues, who also heard the wife's recount, started looking through documents. It didn't take long to find. 4 days before Alik's accident, on the same stretch of road, a Mercedes-Benz fell into the river. The parents, 32-year-old DA and 26-year-old RA, died on the spot. The 5-year-old boy was taken to intensive care. 4 days later, the child came out of a coma and is now recovering. 2 bullet holes were found in the Mercedes that fell into the river.